right back, Charlie's definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Because you always use that active red light defenders. I think it's like.
Another day, another set of live streams. People, whether you're on Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, big up yourselves for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button. Make sure you're cross-following. Now, Arsenal fans, I'm pretty sure we all share the same sentiment. While we don't work for the club, we don't have Mikel Arteta or Edu's plans for this transfer market. We're hoping that Moreno's over the line, and we're hoping we get a move on where signings are concerned. And if your name is Kivior, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, and Aaron Ramsdale, we're hoping to see some progress where outgoings are concerned. We're a couple of days away from kicking off against Wolves, in which we hope is the third but final time that we're able to win a Premier League title after two previous title challenge attempts in recent years, people. Personally, I think there's enough to challenge. As we've shown, we've done in the next 2 years, over the last couple of years. To get over the line is another thing. And of course, signings are not everything. We need to improve tactically. We need to evolve tactically. We need to improve individually and collectively. But it's a big ask without a recognised striker that can bring extra goals. It's definitely a big ask without another versatile attacker. Ideally, one that's a demon on the transition and is able to get double figures where goals are concerned. You know, while defence wins titles and goals win games, typically it's the midfield battle week in, week out. And I feel on the face of it, you know, we've got some good midfield options. I don't expect it to be a thing, but Fabio Vieira, Odegaard, and Kai Havertz can all play deeper in midfield. Unless your name is Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, or Jorginho, we're not trying to hear anything. I would love to see Thomas Partey in what's probably his final season have a prolonged period of fitness. That's probably dream chasing. Jorginho, in my opinion, played a lot more than Arteta, through no fault of his own, would have banked on. So we're in issues there. Now, the window isn't shut. I will give the club that luxury, but I don't think we have enough in us really to get over the line where the Premier League's concerned. And again, the Champions League's a pipe dream. We hope we can go as far as we can. Then the league and FA Cups, who doesn't want to win that? But if you're, you know, thinking any differently, let me know your thoughts. My G, hardest working YouTuber out there. Appreciate that. Try to be the smartest, man. Trying to get to 70,000 subscribers, man. It's not going to be easy. What have you said? Do you think Moreno is actually needed over an attacker? Yes and no. If you was to say to me, probably until the last few weeks ago, would I rather address, like, would you rather, like, God forbid, we know we need more than just one signing, but if you said to me, DG, you can have one central midfielder or one striker or winger, I probably would go towards the midfield, just because I feel defensively, there's always going to be speculation, but on paper, we don't know if these two players will be there. Kivior's there, Zinchenko is there. More want to hear these names: Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, Benjamin White. Such is the strength in depth defensively. I'll probably miss someone else out. Up front, again, it's more that I want to improve upon that. But Kai Havertz has brought something to the table. Bukayo Saka is Bukayo Saka. I'll always back Martinelli and Gabriel Jesus. We love Trossard. So we could improve in that. I would like two new names there, but I think that's all right. Midfield, as I was kind of alluding to, this is the issues. You know, long-term, Jorginho and Partey ain't going to be here. We don't know if either are going to be, you know, able to play 30 of the 38 Premier League games. Personally, I feel a bit sorry for Declan Rice as well, in the sense of there's not been any stability. You know, he's had different partners in midfield while he's been learning what Arteta wants him to learn, on top of this left 8 role that he was playing last year. We need to address midfield. Now, you could say Moreno is not a long-term signing. He's 28, but he's a couple of years younger than what we have. And you'd imagine within the next 18 months, we sign a midfielder or two. And what I mean by that is the people that play either with or in place of Declan Rice. So I do think it's needed, man. I do think it's needed. I feel, considering Edu and Mikel Arteta were obviously midfielders, it's a bit shocking to me, but hopefully in the next few weeks to follow, that one there is put to bed. What do you think is more important, buying Moreno to unlock Martinelli again, or buy a backup for Saka / Martinelli? You'd imagine if there is another attacker, I don't know who it would be, but the first priority would be someone that can perform on the left and on the right. I just think Moreno's a priority, not even just Moreno, a central midfielder, because at this moment in time, Moreno don't play for Arsenal, so how far does the talk around him signing for the football club and how he'll look tactically go? He's not an Arsenal player. He hasn't signed that deal, really. Of course, you know, if Calafiori or Timber or Tomiyasu or whoever has you, they're fit for a prolonged period of time. Moreno is not a like for like in terms of a Granit Xhaka replacement, but he could be a stable fixture on the left-hand side. Then naturally for Trossard and Martinelli, that helps them. It means we're less lopsided. We all know last season, of course, we scored goals down the left-hand side and was quote unquote a threat. But if our right hand side with the Odegaards, the Sakas, apologies, Benjamin Whites, if they weren't at it, we're in trouble. So that would be a step in that right direction. But and while it's an excuse, kind of, Martinelli's got to buck up his own ideas. Start by getting your head up. And I don't know what you did in that season before last year where you were scoring for fun. And I'm sure there was a period where he scored in like 7 of 8 games. In 8 games, he scored 7. Get back to that really and truly, because Martinelli, in my opinion, you're getting into that scenario now where you're either going to go up the gears or this is how you're going to be for the rest of your career, if I'm honest with you. DG, will you look at the league table every week? I don't know. I don't understand the question. It's a very simple question. Of course, you could say looking at the league table. But for me, looking at the league table is looking internally, seeing Arsenal evolve and adapt and get 3 points. I don't look at the league table. I haven't looked at the league table. Last time I checked, you know, nobody played a game. So Arsenal probably are top, you know, in alphabetical order. The only time I want to check the league table is May, man. You know, there's too much content to make. There's too much talking points with Arsenal. And now with a second YouTube channel, just general football opinions, I don't look at the league table, man. I don't know, man. That's the PR answer. Of course I'm looking at the league table. You think last season I wasn't aware of every given occasion, but you got to do the PR settings, man. So yeah, big up yourselves, people. If I share my screen with you lot, we can crack on with 1-2 things. The first thing I want to update you lot is, people, I've had some success where our fantasy league is concerned. If you're already in the league, you have nothing to worry about. I've renewed it. If you're not, however, then yeah, make sure you're joining because the Premier League kicks off tomorrow. Who have I even got in my FPL team? Can you still change them? Who have I got? Pick team. You lot help me, man. I tried a thing with Smith Rowe. I didn't have it. I got somehow I've ended up with 3 Fulham players. That's gonna have to change. I didn't know what to do, man. Like I was just focused on the attackers. All the FPL sites were putting Chris Wood, so he's there. Obviously, you got to go Haaland. I'm trying a thing with McCatree. Kudus, I think, is gonna have a good season. Saka is Saka. Smith Rowe, you're in the team till you get injured. I tried to, well, Anderson's all I could afford, but I tried to go with fullbacks purely because they're more likely to get goals and assists. Clearly, I'm not going to have money for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, Munoz was good last season, so hopefully he's good. Dan Burns there because we had to be a bit smart. Fabianski's there because we had to be a bit smart. I can't afford Isaac, bro. I don't know how I'd finance Isaac, really. You'd have to get rid of Kudus and somebody else. But we need Mr. Mo Salah there as well. Salah's got to come in. Anderson, hold the bench, man. 3 at the back. Chris Wood, I'm going to play you just because I feel we're overexposed in the Man United Fulham fixture. But yeah, man, join the FPL league and make sure your thoughts are coming. Now, many people say, who could we sign? I don't know. I actually, before we came online now, I just thought, let me think. Man, I said Fulker. That could be a shout, but is he going to get goals? I can't lie. My attackers, I just want guys that are inevitable. I wanted to get Maddison, swap Poro for Gabriel, set piece FC. It's true, but I think I tried to actually get money for Havertz, really. I tried to go Havertz, Saka, and one of Saliba or Gabriel. I just want the players that are going to play on a regular basis. But as I was saying in relation to this, off the top of my head, I tried to write down any potential attacker that we've spoken about. And it's a bit of a game, people. We know we're going to go over them. But I've gone for wingers. I've gone Dream, Damaged Goods, Rough Diamonds, people. Now, we know we're not getting Rodrigo. That's why he's in the dream category. I would love Nico Williams. He's in the dream category. Kudus is someone we should have signed at Ajax, let alone what we've seen at West Ham. I'm not the biggest of critics of Anthony Gordon. I think he'd bring something to the table. He's going to cost like 70-odd million. It's a dream. I mean, Sane and Coleman, in theory, could be feasible, and we're linked with them, probably owing to the fact of, you know, Bayern Munich are well stocked with inside forwards. So I wouldn't say it's quite a dream, but Sane and Coleman are welcome. The Napoli lads welcome. I'm not really convinced on Rafael. I think he's a decent player, 100%, but I just feel a lot of the hype is around people that are not watching him. Bowen is more than welcome to sign for Arsenal. He's just become West Ham captain. Eze can play in a bunch of roles as well as elsewhere. So, yeah, he would be great. Gnabry, kind of the same logic with Sane and Kingsley Coleman. We know we're not signing Wirtz, who can play out wide, even though that's not his strongest position. The same said for Musiala. Matoma's stock for the casual fan away from Brighton has probably fallen. Could that be something to go down? Adjeriga from Brighton, we've been linked with him, so I'll slap him in there. Mahrez, could we tempt him from the Middle East? Probably not. Cole Palmer is rightly so in the dream category because we should have bought him at City. Damaged Goods, Mikhail Mudryk, you know, Edu and Mikel Arteta were keen to spend heavily on him. Could he be someone that if Arteta puts an arm around his shoulder, he could help him out? What's the code for the FPL? One sec, let's go back over there. Leagues. DG Nation League here. Invite people to join the league. There's the code, my guy. Let's copy and paste that in for you over there, people, before we get back in. So yeah, hopefully you're able to join, man. But yeah, going back in here, Mudryk, again, we've been linked with him because of the people that Chelsea are signing. Could he be someone? There's a lot of Arsenal fans that would like Marcus Rashford. For me personally, I think I like him. He's a good player. Obviously, British, homegrown rules. Can be a monster on the transition. That being said, he's going to be on big wages. Don't know if he'll buy into the pressing style of play. And there's just too much unanswered questions. Raheem Sterling is probably going to get linked with us as well, owing to what Chelsea are doing. Madueke apparently is available for 20 to 30 odd million pounds. Not really convinced in him. Don't think he makes the difference, but could be a decent squad player. Victor Rohr can play up front as well as in many other positions, and he can't buy a game at Barcelona. I mean, Mikel Arteta tried to sign Rafinha. Not really convinced on Rafinha, good player, but I feel he's too lopsided. I think a lot of these players can perform on the left and the right to a certain extent. I think there's a direct contrast between Rafinha on the right versus on the left, but Arteta was linked with him. Jadon Sancho, again, it seemed like he was going PSG. Now that doesn't appear to be a thing. Could that be something? Chiesa, it seems like Juventus are trying to get you out of the football club. Could that be an angle? Left field choice, but Luis Diaz, you know, I don't know if City can get in the conversation. I mean, we beat them to Declan Rice's signing. Why not? We're always linked with Ferran Torres. I'm not convinced, but that could be an option. Chuck Weezy's having a tough time at AC Milan. I wonder if they'll cut their losses. And Grealish had a tough season, so that could be that. Rough Diamonds, Bakayoko of PSV. Again, he's young, he's impressionable. He said he doesn't want to sign for a mid-table team. Could that be something for Arsenal to go down? Apparently, he's got a 30 to 40 million pound asking price. Ryan Cherky, I'm a big fan of his. The moves to PSG and Dortmund appear to have hit a roadblock. Could that be something? I don't think PSG would sell Bacola, but he could be something. Obviously, we're not going to sign Real Madrid's Endrick or Arda Güler. They can play out wide as well as other positions. Simeone Pafondi, again, I think he's on loan at Udinese. He's young. He's like 18, 19 years of age. Could that be something? I think he's a real player. I actually think he's an Arsenal player, you know, in terms of how he plays. Jeremy Pino, I'm sure he's nursing a serious injury, so that's a myth, but could he be available at a discount? Adeyemi's extremely frustrating. I remain a big fan of his. Duranville, I don't really feel is ready. I can't pronounce this guy's name, but he plays for Copenhagen and he would be decent. Some of you like Kubo. Mr. Ande of Sociedad, the Athletic, previously name dropped and said Mikel Arteta likes him and Arsenal tried to open initial talks. Could that be something? Keeping up the theme with Sociedad, you've got Ojarabal. I'm not really convinced. You know, you've got Carlos Forbes, who is at Ajax, which I'm not really on. Oscar Bob looked like it could have been a breakthrough season, and it could still be a breakthrough season for him at Man City. Unfortunately, he's currently nursing a big injury. Jeremy Doku is extremely frustrating, but if City were willing to cut their losses, could that be an angle to go down? And I'm sure there's plenty of others. Of course, man, the first on this, you know, I only really want two of them if I had to, and it would be Rodrigo and Nico Williams. That's a myth. Then I'm looking at Kudus. I actually think Anthony Gordon will cook for Arsenal, to be fair, down that left. DG have been linked with Madueke. What you saying about him? I mean, he's homegrown. He's on the right side. You know, he's better than Reece Nelson. He could be a good squad player, but he doesn't move the needle for me. And we need depth, but I just think it's signing people because we have to, really. We should buy Anthony. I mean, unless he's going to do halftime freestyling and entertain the fans during the halftime of games, I'm not sure what he brings to the table. So, yeah, I'm not really convinced on Madueke. Bournemouth have signed Ivan Nilsson, so that puts to bed Eddie Nketiah rumours over there, though. You'd imagine there's still Premier League clubs interested. Whether they're prepared to meet Arsenal's potential asking price is a completely different factor and probably one that looks unlikely, if I'm honest. Chiesa should be the signing, but will he stay fit? Sane, Chiesa, and Sancho would be the preferred options for me in terms of wingers. If ability was it, I like Sancho, but are you that good on the transition? I mean, now Sancho and Rashford, I think Rashford's more suited to the system, but I'd rather Sancho. I'm not really convinced, really, man. The winger market, like the winger market, is a lot more broader and there's a lot more quality than, you know, the striker market, but still. I mean, we signed a £100 million player from West Ham last summer. Is there not clearly, I don't want us to spend that money on Kudus, but is there something there? I would love us to sign Ryan Cherky. I mean, if he bought into what Mikel Arteta demands of him, he could be a decent player. Maybe Palace/Brentford could come in for Eddie. He is always linked with these clubs, but are they going to pay the fees? Is Madueke better than Reece? I'm not sure. I mean, Reece needs to leave to go and show such, but I'll give it to Madueke. I've actually seen you do all right for Chelsea. I haven't really seen Nelson do that in an Arsenal shirt. But again, it's a bit of a sideward step, to be fair. You'd sell Nelson, you'd have Madueke. It's kind of poor, really. Keeping up the theme with actually what's still persisting where Arsenal transfer news is concerned. Allegedly, Arsenal have made progress in talks with Sociedad over the transfer of Mikel Merino. Sporting director Edu has been in Spain to push negotiations along with the 28-year-old midfielder open to the move. He has 1 year left on his contract and featured in all 7 games for Spain at the Euros and scored a decisive goal in the quarterfinals against Germany before lifting the trophy after a 2-1 win in the final over Gareth Southgate's England. The Gunners have been keen on the Spaniard after the player expressed his desire for a move. Arsenal's interest in Merino is believed to have started before his successful international tournament, as the Gunners, particularly Mikel Arteta, are keen to add strength in depth in their midfield. We've heard this all at this point. The reports come after, I think this means Sociedad convinced Martin Zubimendi to stay. Obviously, Zubimendi has rejected Liverpool, Arsenal, Bayern Munich, and a bunch of other clubs. I mean, Moreno, he's durable. He wins his duels. He's ever present in terms of fitness. He's obviously got a good technical level. He's experienced being 28 years of age and playing in Spain, Germany, and England. I'm not against it. I don't think it's a ceiling raiser. I think it raises the flooring, and just get it done at this moment in time. Because if I'm honest, I don't know all the intricacies, and I understand Sociedad wanting to get as much money as they can. I understand Arsenal wanting to pay as little as they can owing to the contract, but he's got a year left on his deal. They should be counting their chickens, you know, and their blessings, better yet, that they stand to get 25, 30 odd million euros or such, people. We all know apparently we're still working on outgoings as well as, you know, incomings, hopefully. Eddie Nketiah has allegedly expressed a desire to leave the Emirates, and that could aid a deal for Moreno. We heard that when Smith Rowe was leaving, that one out, that aids Moreno coming in. Elvin Nilsson has signed for Bournemouth, so it looks like a myth. Apparently, we're interested in Espanyol's goalkeeper. Smash the like button, Joan Garcia, if Aaron Ramsdale departs. Joan Garcia has a 21.5 million release clause. Are Arsenal going to pay that for a goalie? I'm not sure. And what a reunion this could be with Odegaard and Moreno. Hopefully, you know, Isaac could come through the door and all the Sociedad boys are back together. And then I woke up and nothing's going on. You would have obviously seen yesterday, Ornstein and James McNicholas said we're in talks to sign him. Mikel Arteta has wanted him for some time. The clubs are trying to negotiate a deal. Edu has been in Spain. Moreno has made it clear that he's keen to join Arsenal and play under Mikel Arteta. And Sociedad are accepting it, really. So we'll have to see. Hopefully he would be our second addition, technically third when you consider David Raya's move's been made permanent. And then today, The Guardian came out and said, Arsenal still working to sign Mikel Merino after third bid rejected. Real Sociedad want a fee of around 30 million for the player, and Bournemouth may meet the asking price for Nketiah. You never know, they might come in for another striker, but Arsenal are prepared to be patient in their pursuit of Mikel Merino. So is this one that's going to drag towards the end of the window, considering there's, you know, 2 weeks is a long time in football, but we're getting towards the end of the window. Carnival's coming up, you know, like, isn't it the 31st of August / the 1st of September where the market closes? But apparently our initial offer for the Spain midfielder was rejected by Sociedad. However, talks between Arsenal sporting director Edu and the Spanish club are continuing after Sociedad turned down a first formal bid believed to be worth 25 million euros, in brackets 21.4 million. They are understood to be holding out for a fee of around 35 million euros, 30 million for the 28-year-old. So there's about a 9 million, just under 9 million difference. Can we meet in the middle at 25? Don't know. He only has 1 year left on his contract. Moreno has rejected Sociedad's offer of a new deal, having already agreed personal terms with Arsenal. He's believed to be keen on moving back to the Premier League after a short spell at Newcastle earlier in his career. Having already persuaded Martin Zubimendi to remain at the club after he rejected interest from Liverpool, Sociedad remain hopeful that they can still convince Moreno to follow suit. Arsenal expected to return with a new offer in the coming days, although there is understood to be recognition that it may take some time to wrap up a deal with the new Premier League season to start this weekend. So we're going to have to keep it moving. Arsenal are still open to selling several players in Mikel Arteta's squad as they prepare for their opening game of the season against Wolves on Saturday. With Ajax's initial approach for Aaron Ramsdale rejected, Arsenal have been linked with a move for Espanyol's Joan Garcia if the England goalkeeper is allowed to leave. Bournemouth, meanwhile, have emerged as potential suitors for Nketiah after Marseille were put off by Arsenal's 40 million price tag. Areola's side, the manager of Bournemouth, are in the market for a replacement for Dominic Solanke following his move to Spurs, and could test their resolve to keep Eddie Nketiah after seeing a bid rejected by Porto for the Brazilian forward Ivan Nilsson. So yeah, we'll have to see where that's gone. Romano's offered his own 2 pence on the Moreno stuff as well, and he said talks are taking place, all parties are optimistic. Moreno's been very clear on his plan to join Arsenal. It's advancing well. There are no big issues now. It's just about the deal structure with all parties working on it. Barcelona and Atletico Madrid are both informed of Moreno's plan to go to Arsenal. Arsenal have been speaking with Sociedad for almost a month. Fair enough, really. You know, we've been speaking for a month, so they're driving a hard bargain and we're sticking to our guns. But the plan is clear, with Moreno keen to join Arsenal and having the desire to play for Mikel Arteta. It's just about the clubs working together in a friendly way to find a solution. And the feeling is that Moreno is really confident of becoming an Arsenal player in the final 2 weeks of the window. So hopefully that thing could follow, man. Marquinhos, you're asking the wrong questions. Huh? I'm not sure what you mean there. DG, that show with Graham was 100. Big up Graham and big up you lot who caught that. Injury is the only thing that's making me drop Partey for Moreno. I'm not against signing, but I'm not excited for it per se. I hear that, but I do think at the time people weren't excited for Martin Odegaard. They weren't excited for Benjamin White. They weren't excited for Aaron Ramsdale. So just come in and do a job. I don't think Moreno's exciting to be excited about. It's not a shiny new toy, but I think there's no balance. I do think you've got people pushing the PR, we've outsmarted the market. I mean, the man's got a year left on his deal. I do think there's some that are being negative. Well, I do think he brings something. I do see him becoming first choice centre mid purely because, as you said, Partey's probably not going to, be fit. But he's in his prime. He's in the prime of his career. So you have to kind of want to deliver now. He's obviously got experience. He's twice, maybe even 3 times the player, provided he returns to the Premier League than he was when he went to Newcastle. Obviously, he can play as a 6 and an 8. He probably has a good relationship with Martin Odegaard. And he's just a decent player, man. So bring him to the carpet. And I mean, we're not Liverpool, but when you look at Liverpool signings at the time, people weren't looking at them. It's very different, but as sexy signings. Firmino was a good player. No one was waxing lyrical. Robertson got released by Hull. Got relegated with Hull. Mane, people were turning their nose at. Salah, people were saying he's a flop. You buy correctly and you buy people that do the job, suddenly you've got a good bunch of players, really and truly. Last hour of the transfer window, Ivan Toney to Arsenal is coming. I don't think we have to worry about that. DG, you excited for the Premier League? The highs, the lows, and everything in between is football, innit? I do miss watching Arsenal play, but that's all dependent on the results we pick up. DG, what happened to Marquinhos? He's on loan in Brazil, and hopefully he's sold on a permanent at some point. Arsenal stepped up their attempts to sign Moreno. We've been here before. The guy's keen on the move. Are you going to tell us anything different? No, you're not. So forget about that. I mean, it could be good news where the Nketiah is concerned, people. Apparently, Bournemouth have agreed a 47 million euros deal with Porto to sign Ivan Nilsson. Can we flog Nketiah to Porto? Romano said that. So that probably rules out Nketiah going to Bournemouth. And to be fair, if you're Bournemouth, who would you... I don't know how many goals this guy's got and whatnot, but he's playing for Porto. He's probably got a better record than Eddie Nketiah. He's probably more likely to, replace Solanke in some way than Eddie. Nobody's seen an extended run in form of Eddie to say that he could deputize if anything happens to Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz, or that we don't need to sign a striker. And obviously, Solanke got 19 odd goals. It's a bit of a myth. Is anyone else going to come to Arsenal rather than Moreno? I hope so, but not a clue. Not going to lie, just watching João Neves against RB Leipzig side, we were never putting the money down PSG were doing for that 19-year-old. Sammy Motbella said there are other Premier League clubs apart from Bournemouth who are interested in Nketiah. We hear this all the time. Being interested in it is one thing. Giving us offers to field is another. So we'll have to watch how that one develops, people. What else have we got? We've already gone over that. Arsenal brace for bidding war as Eddie Nketiah attracts interest from two Premier League clubs. I really hope it is a bidding war. Eddie Nketiah is attracting interest from Bournemouth and Crystal Palace as he edges closer to an exit from Arsenal. The 25-year-old has been a valued member of Mikel Arteta's squad, scoring 29 goals in 153 appearances under the Spaniard. However, he has largely been restricted to substitute appearances in recent times and has not started a competitive match since December last year after falling behind Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz and Trossard in the pecking order. And Nketiah is now open to departure and had shown an interest in a move to Marseille earlier this window. The French side ultimately opted to sign Wahi, however. Now a stay in England is more likely, with two Premier League sides showing interest in the striker. Bournemouth are looking at him as a replacement for Solanke. We've obviously seen they've bought someone. Put the money down, Crystal Palace, man. If you sell Gurhi or Anderson, you've got money. You've sold Elise, you could sell Eze. Put the money down. We always hear clubs are interested in my man. Scouting money. I wish people understood this. They don't and they don't care to. DG, do you think we should be keeping an eye on João Felix situation, or has that ship too far gone. I mean, if he returns to Chelsea and he does amazing, then we probably could have. We have tried to sign him before, but whether it's his wages, whether it's the fee, whether it's, you know, a shift in our transfer strategy, away from him being obviously a great player technically, is probably a myth, really. DG, what will you do if City or Liverpool win the league? What can I do? Congratulate them and keep it moving. Apparently, Chelsea are close to signing Victor Osimhen from Napoli in a swap deal. Apparently, Conte wants 2 players plus 39 million. Chelsea are closing in on a move for Victor Osimhen, and it's to be expected. He ended up at Chelsea. What's going on there? They're selling Krasnodar, who's been on a couple of loan spells at Chelsea after joining from Chelsea after joining from Inter Milan. Fair enough. You know what? If they genuinely want Lukaku and they get the young Italian returning to their shores, fair enough. And I'm sure they want Osimhen off their wage bill. Probably unlikely. We was going for them. Sago Jr. could be set for a new contract and leaving on loan. Apparently, Shrewsbury Town are looking at the young Haylender behind the paywall, so we can't exactly look at that. That was me reading that. Apparently, Arsenal have been fielding interest in Xhaka Kirio for some time, and the arrival of Calafiori is expected to make them more open to selling the Poland international. Calafiori has been in fantastic form in Serie A and impressed the Gunners with his performances in his recent tournament with the national team. I think that means the Euros with Poland. Several clubs were interested in signing him, but Arsenal won the race for his signature. Now Kivior faces increased competition for game time at the Emirates. I mean, at centre-half, I would imagine Tomiyasu, Timber, Calafiori, Saliba, Gabriel, probably even a shift in Benjamin White, all played ahead of you. At left-back, I honestly think you're behind Tomiyasu, Timber, Calafiori, and probably even Zinchenko. 1 minute it's AC Milan, then it's Inter Milan. At this point, you just want to see him gone. Respectfully to Kivior, you know, you want to see some progress around Kivior, Nelson, and Nketiah and Ramsdale. But the longer the window goes, if there's offers that don't make sense, they're gonna have to stay. I don't know about Felix. I wouldn't mind, but no guarantee it's gonna work in the Prem. I still take Felix. Felix didn't impress me at Chelsea. To be fair, quite a few players have flopped at Chelsea. Kevin De Bruyne and Salah, it's fair to say they've done all right. On ability, I like Felix. And I mean, Mikel Arteta has shown he can, you know, put an arm around some players and get a tune out of them. But for the wages he's going to be on, for the fee / the loan fee, you have to take risks, and no signings, guaranteed to bang. But does it make sense? Beyond him being a good player, you know, João Felix can play everywhere. What's his best position? Is it up front? Is it off the flanks? Is it in the 10? If he is, you know, if he is a striker, is he going to get the goals we need? I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's not. If it is a 10, is he good enough to shift Martin Odegaard out of there and put him as a left 8? If it's off the left-hand side, is he better than Trossard or Martinelli across the course of the season? If it's on the right, forget about it, there's Saka. And if he is a rotationary option, are we in that scenario where we're going to spend the fee required, even though it's not going to be groundbreaking in the wages? I'm not sure. I like his technical level. I like the illusion of João Felix. I like the carrot of, you know, whatever Mikel Arteta did with Martin Odegaard and Kai Havertz. If he could get that out of him, we've got a good player. But he's not a miracle worker, man. He will get things wrong, essentially. So, yeah, man, it looks a bit dry where outgoings and incomings are concerned. We've only signed 2 players. As you know, Smith Rowe, El Nene, Cedric, Suarez, Okonkwo, Lokonga, Tavares, Kyle Hine have all departed, as well as Brooke Norton-Cuffy. There's been changes at academy level. Amari Benjamin, Mauro Buendira, Mika Beref, Lewis Brown, Noah Cooper. Big up to him for going Stoke. Surgeon, Koza Dewberry, Henry Davies, Ovi, Foran, Hubert, Jack Henry Francis. A bunch of them have gone. Tyrese John Jules has left as well. Hope he finds a club. Kilo Taylor Hart as well. So, yeah, man. Just want to see a bit more, if I'm completely honest there. Victor Rook holds the key for Arsenal and Liverpool. What does this mean? I don't believe in any of this. Victor Rook opens the door for Gyökeres. Apparently, Sporting Lisbon are looking at the Barcelona youngster. This is an exciting development for Arsenal, who have been following Lisbon-based striker Victor Gyökeres for many months. Football Transfers first revealed the Gunners' interest in the Swedish striker in March, and while their admiration persists, a deal has been impossible due to Sporting Lisbon's asking price in excess of 100 million euros. In opening talks with Victor Rook, though, it suggests the movements are being made in the background that could see Gyökeres depart the club, with Arsenal his most prominent suitor. I mean, I don't think a lot of us would be against it. DG, did you say if Gabriel Jesus doesn't score 15 goals this season, you'll delete the channel? I don't know, Mr. Officer, man. I don't know. I weren't there, man. I don't know nothing. Didn't see nothing. Didn't hear anything, man. I don't know what's going on there. Fair enough. Doesn't appear that there's anything new here. What have we got here? This is just why we would want Mikel Merino. I've done enough tactical videos on Merino, so I won't bore you lot with that. Smith Rowe tipped for return to best level at Fulham after Arsenal exit. Marco Silva is speaking highly of him. Apparently, he said, the main thing for me was to feel the desire for Emil to come to our club. That made me push and convince our board to sign him. It's a statement for us to go to sign, to go for us to go for him. He's a top talent. We want to make him play at his best level again. If he plays at his best level, he's going to be a great player for us. I mean, he's playing Man United tomorrow, so hopefully he does his thing really and truly. I wish Smith Rowe all the best. I can't wait to make a video saying, I told you we shouldn't have sold him. Hearts and Hibs rival targets. Crystal Palace midfielder as Arsenal show interest in keeper. What goalkeeper are Arsenal showing an interest in? Arsenal show interest in Dundee ace. Rising Dundee star Ali Graham has been attracted significant attention lately, and Premier League giants Arsenal are the latest to enter the picture. That's according to Courier Sport, who report that the Gunners have shown interest in the 15-year-old starlet, who's already being monitored by other top-flight clubs. Apparently, he's already trained with both Southampton and Newcastle, and apparently Nottingham Forest are looking at him. I mean, if he's got potential, bring him to the carpet, man. It seems like we're looking at a lot of Scottish and Irish talents. What's this, people? Arteta works to bring new depth to his midfield ranks. It has become slightly forgotten that there was supposed to be an extreme focus on the attack for this upcoming season. Edu has been hard at work negotiating the best possible deal to sign Mikel Merino from Real Sociedad, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Arsenal remain in the market for an attacker despite looking away from Tony. I mean, Ivan Tony's a myth. Would love Isaac. That's going to cost too much. Victor Osimhen, it seems he's going Chelsea. Gyökeres, I think if we get everything done, then there might be something in that regards, but that looks like a myth. Just imagine a Sheffield fan roasting Arsenal. Not sure on that. Big up my guy DG. The Prem is back. Can't wait for the watch-alongs, the banter, the meltdowns, and the drama. Let's go. There's no other place to be for the watch-alongs, folks. Appreciate that. And we go again tomorrow. Man United, Fulham. We will watch Chelsea City. I'm sure they're on Sunday. Obviously, Arsenal versus Wolves, blackout period for myself, but we go again where Arsenal watch-alongs are concerned next week against Aston Villa. Keeping up the theme with, big up yourself, Marcel, keeping up things. This has said Arsenal could yet pounce for Osimhen, people, despite it looking like he could go to Chelsea. It doesn't say that there's anything evidence. What scares me, though, about Arsenal is, big up Kai, you're the first name on the team sheet. You got 13 league goals and a couple of assists, but they came in the second half of the season. There's 38 Premier League games. You know, if your name is not Kai Havertz, but Bukayo Saka and Trossard, primarily they're the goal getters. Then you're looking at Declan Rice and Odegaard. Odegaard, who scored a lot of goals, got 8 in the Prem. Not quite the 14, 15 he got the year before. Declan Rice is not known for goals and had his highest goal scoring season. We don't know if that's going to happen again. We have got a lot of goals from set pieces, I believe 22. So I'm not criticizing that. You know, I like the fact that we can, you know, the goals are being spread around. We can score a variety of goals. But when you break it down, I do think people overrate the need for us to sign attacking reinforcements, but I don't think it can be overstated. And we look at a couple of games where we haven't been at our best, looking at that December period, or even in the Aston Villa game in the first half, or the North London derby in the first half at the Emirates. Kill these games, man. You got to kill the game before it kills you. So we'll have to see. I know a lot of us would have loved to have seen Fofana join Arsenal from AS Monaco. Apparently, Romano has said AC Milan and AS Monaco are closing in on Fofana deal as revealed last night. Agreement on the 25 million euros package, waiting on formal bid on paper and details on payment terms. Fofana will travel to Milano tonight or Friday based on green light and training. I mean, I wonder what convinces Arsenal over Mikel Merino than Fofana, because we were linked with him. And ironically, both players have contracts running down. Osimhen is Chelsea written all over him. Isn't he a Chelsea fan? And I'm sure there's images of him in a Chelsea kit as a little kid. Apparently, everything points towards Moreno not being called up for Sociedad's opening game against Rayo this Sunday. Arsenal still 10 million euros short of valuation, but talks continue. And if all goes smooth, a deal will be done before Sociedad play Rayo, which we hope so, man. Did you do predictions for the season yet, DG? No, I actually haven't. But like, what sort of predictions? What player of the season? Young player of the season? Relegation? Promotion? Who wins the league? Who gets the Champions League spots? If I do that, it's on my second YouTube channel. So make sure you're following DG Sports Views. I don't know why Frimpong is wearing an Arsenal shirt. Because you was a little pussy old dissing my club last month, actually. I would love us to sign Ryan Cherky. 1 minute he's going PSG, then he's going Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, he's learning English ahead of a potential move to the Premier League. Now, I do think ability, he's got it. I don't know. There's been concerns, allegedly, with his attitude issues and whatnot. But I do think the 20-year-old hasn't scratched the surface of his potential, people. And there's a reason Paris Saint-Germain, specifically Luis Enrique, wanted him. Could he be someone? You see him linked for as little as 15 million euros. So could he be something to go on, people? If I look on Google, I don't think we're linked with anyone else, people. I don't think we are, man. If it's not Moreno, there's no one else. As you can see, the Cherries have dropped interest in Nketiah should they sign Ivan Nilsson. And is Eddie Nketiah the first choice? I know the striker market's dead, but Eddie Nketiah has been linked with Bournemouth. He's been linked with Bournemouth. He's been linked with Wolves. He's been linked with Crystal Palace. Is he the first choice of any of these clubs? If not, then are we really going to move him on? I think we're going to have to keep him. And to be honest, as much as I would like attacking reinforcements, and I think Eddie Nketiah needs to be moved on, the club might say, you know what, Kai Havertz is durable, but there's times where he's going to need to be rested. Gabriel Jesus probably gets injured. Do you go with Eddie Nketiah? Playing it up for the gram, but he rates us deep down. Yeah, I'm shameless. Come join us for me. I don't want Jeremy Frimpong at the Emirates. For what? You're okay. You're okay going forward. Defensively, you can't defend. You can be part of the squad, but are you dropping Benjamin White for him? You dropping Timber for him? If White's not a thing, nah. And we need to sign a midfielder, man, or a winger or whatever, man. We don't need another right back. If Arteta wants that, fair enough, man. Nope, we played stupid games. We won the stupid prize. I don't trust Cherky off the ball. That's what I mean by he's going to have to buy into everything Mikel Arteta would demand of him, or he can forget about it. I want to see Tottenham relegated. Who doesn't? We need a striker as soon as possible. Jesus is just taking too many chances. No, none of our strikers are clinical per se. When the PL starts, I hope we win the first 20 games, and I hope we don't have any trouble with City and Villa. Our first 5 games, man. You've got what in no order? You've got obviously Wolves, you've got City, you've got Spurs, you've got Brighton. Wait, Wolves. Wait, let me see if I can remember all 5. Wolves, Villa, Brighton, City, Spurs, or Spurs, City, something like that. The first 5 games can set the tone. Even if we, God forbid, if we lost all 5 games, I don't think we should draw conclusions. If we won all 5 games, I think we should steady the ship. But I want us to start the season well and obviously win those games or not drop too many points because the international break is coming up. You know, you don't want to go into the international break in September, you know, with an L. It's a bit of a shame in that regards. But honestly, people, I don't think there's anything more to discuss, people. So, yeah, I would implore you lot all to make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're following on the second channel. If you've missed the live stream I did with Graham, make sure you check that out. As usual, big up you lot for you lot support. If there's any updates and things like that, I'll get vids out for you lot. But for now, stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.
There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like.